Welcome everyone to What We're Watching, episode 25. This is our what episode?
The quarter.
You're good with numbers. I was going to say I'm not easy. Uh-huh. We are
It's 25 cents, Joey.
We are 1/4 of the way to 100.
Yes, it's a quarter.
Yes, and so back again, the July extravaganza of Die Hard continues. We're back with Die Hard 2. Now, you can die hard, okay? And they're like, let's do it again, all right? We're going to be Die Hard 2. Well, then now we've got to die harder.
Got to die harder.
It just makes sense.
There has to be a comparison because here's what we did. We set a baseline for how to die in part 1. We set that baseline. We showed y'all what happened to Hans. Now we got to die harder. And we did. And we got so many characters that went on to play other roles that we get to talk about. Because of that, listen, let me tell you something, Joey. When I'm doing my rewatch for notes and I get towards the end, I said, damn. And you know why I did it.
I certainly do. About halfway through. Because I was checking it out this morning. I'm like, all right. Actually, it was just a little while ago. It was this afternoon. I said, and it's about halfway through. He shows up.
Shame.
And we'll talk about it. But you know who I feel the worst for?
Which one?
That dude who got replaced because the last guy got appendicitis.
Yes.
Because what I'm saying is, and we'll get to it, folks, but if you hadn't watched it by now, turn us off or pause us and then come back to us, okay? This is what I'm saying. Listen, they might call us in. We know what our end game is. Can't we just say we're all good when they say we're going to replace Smith because he's got appendicitis? No. Leave the kid at home. We got this. No, we've got to send somebody.
Big facts.
Because my homeboy was like, I wish I had, they're all in the back, and this is me in the back of the truck. I wish I had been with you all. Me too. And then
they didn't need him. They could have just left him alone.
Because he's over there. I'm the last minute replacement. But I trust him completely with my life.
Right. He had a fishing trip planned that weekend. It was going to be a whole thing, bro. Like, he got called in last minute. And he was so happy to get called in. He's like, hey, man, new job coming. I'm all about this, man. I was waiting to get called up. I've been an alternate for years, bro. It's my time to shine. My time. And then they hang up the phone and they go, and then we see what happens.
Because this is, I don't know if you've ever watched Cheers, but I'm doing him like Woody on Cheers, his first Christmas in the big city. He's got big city responsibilities now. So he calls home. He goes, I miss you all so much. Is mom making the dressing? Is it bone dry like always? And I'm thinking that that is this kid. He's crying, and they're like, "You're up, gotta go." And he's all happy. He's like, "Yay!"
He really is, bro. He got new boots for the mission and everything, bro. Like that's a whole thing. All just to get blood all over your white uniform.
Was that when you said, "Damn"?
Just a little bit after that.
Listen, if they had brought Esther Roll in and they're like, here, just come in. She's like, this doesn't make any sense. Esther, do you want this job or not? I'll take it. And they're like, throw this down. She's like, does it make sense in the terms of the And she does it, and I'm like, I'm not even mad at it. I understand.
Like, bro, like real world stuff. If I got to see Miss Florida Evans come out at the moment that James, I called him James, his character's not named James in this movie, but if when James falls into the propeller and Florida Evans was just off on the side, like it doesn't make any sense at all because they're out there in the middle of this daggum airfield. And I'm sorry for skipping, like we're talking, folks. But yeah, if she's off on the side and she goes, damn, that would have been perfect for me. That would have put this
Because
in my top.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I've got a bit about that. How to like earlier millennials and Gen X, we associate people with characters. We don't really care
Yeah.
what their real name is. And I say,
Okay.
like, how do you know? Like, somebody comes in and you're watching the movie, like, what's going on with the movie? You're like, JJ's mama just shot. They think JJ's mama killed John Boy, but Benson's going to get her off. You're like, holy crap! I want to watch that movie now.
Right. Because you know exactly what it is. Like, Gouye? Benson? Bring it on.
You're like, why did JJ's mama shoot John Boy? We don't know. They think she shot John Boy. They don't know for sure. All right. Let's
Just
break
keep
it
watching.
down.
Murder She Wrote will be here in a minute.
Dude, Murder She Wrote showed up. I'm like, y'all need to lock the doors. I ain't. Don't call me. Don't call me. It's like
Because that's her name. Her
Yeah.
name is Murder She Wrote.
it's like the comedian. I'm gonna give him full props. The late comedian Tim Wilson talked about that's how it used to be when Wizard of Oz came on. It came on once a year.
Right.
You're like, pop some popcorns, cancel my appointments, don't answer that telephone. Wizard of Oz is on.
Wizard of Oz is on. And
All
you,
right.
I always watch the scene to see if I can see the shadow in the background. What you know, the little urban legend they got with the
Yeah,
movie. I
yeah.
always try and catch that.
Every time. Speaking of which, Angela Lansbury, Murder She Wrote herself, hosted like a little behind the scenes documentary I saw once, and she's like, people talk about every time they watch it, they get something new from it. They find something new from it, and that's true. Because when they kidnapped Dorothy and the Tin Man and Scarecrow and the Cowardly Lion are going after him, Scarecrow's got a gun. He's got a pistol. I'm like, when did he have a pistol?
Where the pistol go? Scarecrow just pulls it out.
And look,
This witch done pushed my last nerve. I got my pistol.
what if it was a water pistol? I'm like, he came prepared.
Yo, now, see, now I wasn't even thinking about that. Now, if that man had a water pistol, he was way before his time. Talk about having some intelligence.
Like Pierce when they invite him to the water gun.
Right.
Please tell me tell me that's the gun you throw.
Before you pull out your bigger gun.
And then he just
Pepper water? Who uses pepper water? Oh, God. Listen, we're supposed to be dying harder, but we're having a good time.
All right, let's die hard.
Yes.
Two.
It's
a 1990 American action thriller film directed by Rennie Harlan, written by Stephen E. D'Souza and Doug Richardson, co-produced by Joel Silver and starring Bruce Willis as John McClane alongside Bonnie Bedelia, William Sadler, Art Evans, William Atherton, Franco Nero, Dennis Franz, Fred Thompson, John Amos, and Reginald Vell Johnson. The second installment in the Die Hard film series, the film was released on July 4th, 1990 in the United States. Now, the next weekend, the weekend of July 11th, 1990, a 12-year-old Joey Harris was taken to see this movie in the theaters.
Oh, snap.
By my aunt and her husband at the time. Okay.
Oh, snap. All right.
Now, we buy our tickets, we're getting our popcorn, and who should appear behind us in line to buy tickets?
Carl Winslow.
No, my best friend and his sister, who had brought him and her two sons to see this theater. And the theater would not let them in because she was not his legal guardian.
Are you serious?
Now, at this time, I'm 12. He's 11, going to turn 12 in about 5 months. You talking about some mad people, because I had gotten my ticket at that point. Right. And all of that. I'm like, look, I ain't got nothing to do with this. But some angry people.
I believe it.
Just tell them that your you're his mother. Say, listen, all y'all, for the next 5 minutes, I'm all three of y'all's mother.
That's all you got to say, and just keep on running.
Just keep on going. Run and gun. As with the first film, the action in Die Hard 2 takes place on Christmas Eve. McClane is waiting for his wife to land in Washington at Washington Dulles International Airport when terrorists take over the air traffic control system. He must stop the terrorists before his wife's plane and several other incoming flights that are circling the airport run out of fuel and crash. During the night, McClane must also contend with airport police and a military commander, none of whom want his assistance.
None.
The film was
None.
released to generally positive reviews, with critics praising the film's action and tone while criticizing elements of the plot. Die Hard 2 was a major box office success, grossing $240 million and doubling the earnings of its predecessor and finishing as the year's seventh highest grossing film.
Right.
It was making money hand over fist.
It was. That's where the term hand over fist came from.
It is. Little known fact, known by few. On Christmas Eve, 2 years after the events of the previous film, John McClane is now a lieutenant with the LAPD who arrives at Dulles International Airport to pick up his wife, Holly. Meanwhile, a plane carrying corrupt foreign military leader General Ramon Esperanza is also headed to Dulles under extradition for using U.S. funds to buy drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting to meet Esperanza's plane is disgraced former Colonel William Stewart and a group of ex-military sympathizers who supported Esperanza's actions. Suspicious, McClane follows two of Stewart's men into a restricted baggage sorting area where a gunfight ensues. He kills one man, but the other escapes.
R.I.P. Johnny Cakes.
Now, according to Lorenzo, these are just people who are trying to steal baggage.
They're just trying to steal baggage.
Poor Johnny Cakes.
Poor John. That's what I said when I first I watched, and this obviously after Sopranos, because the first time I saw it was way before Sopranos. So
You
I
didn't know Johnny Cakes from the.
I didn't know Johnny Cakes. Right, I didn't know him back then, but now that I've watched it, I'm like, oh, Johnny Cakes. I immediately identified. I was like, oh, that's back when Johnny Cakes was a little healthier.
So listen.
Mm-hmm.
On the way, they're zipping the body bag up, right? They get a pulse. Right. They bring him back to life. They put him in the witness protection, and they put him there. And it's like, listen, you can't go back to what you were doing. We did that once with Carl Winslow. We got our revenge. We put a little nerdy boy next door, but we can't go down that route again. Is there anything else that you can do? He said, I can cook.
Because he was very weak at that moment. I can cook. Oh, Johnny.
Speaking of which, with the help of his friend Sergeant Al Powell, he discovers that the dead man's fingerprints correspond to an American soldier who died in a helicopter accident 2 years earlier. Putting this together with Esperanza's imminent arrival, McClane reports his concerns to the ill-tempered airport police chief, Carmine Lorenzo, and air traffic controller, Ed Trudeau, but neither believes him. Listen, Carmine wouldn't lie to me. He said these people were just trying to steal some luggage.
So here's my thing, right? I'm watching this, and I feel for the guy who would inevitably let Bruce Willis into the restricted area, right? Bruce Willis has no jurisdiction anywhere. He didn't have it in LA when he first went out there. He was just a barefoot cop. Now he's actually in LAPD, so now he's got jurisdiction out there. But where's he at? He ain't in LA, but he's flashing that badge.
He's not even in New York, where he had been before.
Where he had been before. He flashing badge. This brother's like, man, I don't know if you a real cop, but that badge sure does look real. I'll let you wherever you want to go. But Bruce Willis had absolutely no jurisdiction to say, I'm a cop. You need to let me back in there. That ain't it. I feel for that guy.
One of my favorite moments in the film, though, is after he lets Bruce Willis in and Bruce Willis in and the door closes. This is that guy. He's like, what do I do? He like looks off like they didn't tell me anything to do. I'm just gonna sit here and open and
I
close this door.
mean, so once the door closes, I'm assuming that he's looking for a cop, somebody who actually has jurisdiction, because
Right.
Bruce Willis ain't got none.
Now, if they had brought you in, you could have done that scene.
Oh yeah.
So I'm thinking they shot this in '89. You were 6, but still, you can still hold it, bring it off.
See, my big ass head and bow legs.
You want me to do what now? Okay.
Okay, that's it. Because that's all I got to do. He shows you a badge and you open the door. That's it.
Later, they are convinced when Stewart and his men, operating out of a church on the outskirts of the airplane, cut all communications with incoming airplanes, disable all runway lighting, and demand that Esperanza's plane be allowed to land without interference. Shout out to the little caretaker dude. He's like, nobody ever visits me here. Who is this? Yeah, we've been having some things. You mind if we look around? Come on in. While you're here, I never get visitors. The cat's tired of hearing me. I'm going to run down the entire history of this place. They'll still use it, but it just won't be the same. You know what I mean? I feel like a part of me is dying with this church. You're right about that. And dude is like, listen, I know they're going to kill me. I'm going to make the most out of this. I'm going to try to knock down every bench.
That last hand. I'm like, yo, it's like the postman just let you know that you have mail. Like the little arm just fell down right there at the end. But yeah, like he said, I never get any visitors. Like I felt bad for the dude. I'm like, this man is making sure to let y'all know how lonely he is.
He's watching the news. He's eating his soup. It's a snowy TV. The cat's like, listen, are we going to do anything else with our lives? There's a Pepsi can beside him. He's like, look, I got my coffee. I got my little Folgers crystals. I got my Pepsi, my soup.
They could have not killed him. They could have not killed him. They're like, bro, you don't look like you have any friends. Just leave and never come back here. And he would have, and nothing would have happened. But they just had to kill him. And he, like you said, every pew he could knock down. And then after he's dead, the hand gotta fall just to let you know that he's dead.
Under Stewart's direction, Trudeau orders all air traffic controllers to have all planes in Dulles airspace hold in the air despite their low fuel warnings.
Can I call Trudeau the worst airport guy ever? Because this is one thing that I noticed while I'm watching this movie.
Okay.
Y'all have had countless gunshots between Bruce Willis, Johnny Cakes, and my guy whose stunt double was nothing like him at all. You had all these gunshots in the airport. Nobody's cleared the airport. You had towers blowing up. Nobody's clearing the airport. Like, at one point in time, like, bro, you obviously know this is a pre-9/11 airport, bro. Gotta be, because, like, all this stuff is happening, and at no point in time did they say, you know what, we might want to close this airport.
At the same time, though, what you said, there's a point that you said that's very interesting. This is pre-9/11, and as you know from the West Wing, they talk about what's the danger of actually closing the airports and stuff like that. You're talking about a top 5 for, like, they didn't close the airports for anything and all of that because of the trickle down effect, because you got planes in the air. So even if they closed it and they're not letting any out, that affects all the other airports, because you got Charlotte, you got Baltimore, you got New York, you got Chicago, Denver, all the West.
Just got planes not trying to come in, and you got people with connections. Like, I get all of that. I'm just, you got a whole bunch of explosions going on. Like maybe you want to clear this place. Like that's just me. That's just me.
Or at the very least, hey, can we bring in more? Like call everybody. I don't care, and all that. Bring everybody in. We're gonna sweep the airport. But
Heck
after
yeah.
but after they send them the thing that says, listen, we're taking over. You at that point you got to find, all right, what are they using to take over? We need to take that out and all of that.
Right. And you get at the beginning of the movie, gotta love our McLeans and their airport neighbors. So we got in the first movie we learn about making fists with our toes, and in this second film we find out how much this older lady loves technology. Now
But
my
hates her
question is,
dog.
but hates her dog, right? How many so she say my days of carrying mace are over. Now I zap the bastards. How many people is she tasing, bro? Like really?
This is what I'm saying. I understand a pre 9/11 thing. There's no way she got on that plane with that. I'm like, what would they like? What is this? And the man ahead of her, what's that? Some sort of a bowling ball candle? That looks good. Just keep the line moving.
It's a neck massager. Oh man.
McLean becomes worried about Holly's plane and enlists the help of airport janitor Marvin to fight back. Marvin's relatively new on the job. We know he quit Nakatomi because he wasn't cleaning that up.
He wasn't cleaning that mess up. But hey, look, he has a system and he has it down.
Yes, Marvin. 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 Now we get to my favorite character in the entire film, other than McLean. Chief Airport Engineer Leslie Barnes. Homeboy just keeps coming up with stuff like, well, let's do it this, the NX Skywalk. Listen, it just beeps, the outer thing. Who says it's gotta just beep? Good luck, McLean.
He got all the energy in the world, man. And ideas for days, man. Shouts out to my guy.
and when he gives that speech, he's like, I have been authorized. When he's letting the planes know.
Yep.
Decides to try using an unfinished antenna array to communicate with the stranded circling airplanes. Lorenzo sends an airport SWAT team with him, but Stewart's men kill them all and destroy the antenna. Barnes is saved by McLean, who kills Stewart's men in turn. And if nothing else, now we've got old T2 is there. Robert Patrick
Right.
is there.
Bro, when I saw T2, game over. I said, there's no way that Bruce Willis can beat T2.
I'd get on, Barnes when he finally got the headset and he's doing that. I'm like, hey, Barnes, let me do this. Where we at on that 747 for Esperanza? Do they need help clearing the runway? I'll come back out with the thing.
Seriously. She's like, and Joey, why are you doing this? Because they got a T2. They got a T2.
What the heck is a T2? Oh, you'll find out. And when you do, you'll be out here with me. Does he need help getting himself from one plane to another?
Right. When his hand shifts into a spear.
In retaliation, Stewart crashes a British airplane, killing everyone on board by impersonating air traffic control and faking the airplane's altimeter reading by recalibrating sea level, minus 200 feet. And if they say, listen, we need people to feel bad for people who are about to die, they're going through, it's just like British Railways, love. We're a little late, but we get you there. It'll be fine. We've already contacted your other airplane, and they're gonna make sure that you get there on time. She's lying. They hadn't contacted shit.
All that was meant to make them feel just a little bit better about what was coming.
And if you're in the theater like I was, and you're like, I feel kind of bad that they crashed, but it doesn't affect me personally. What's he picking up out of the snow? Is that a baby doll?
Now you have a soul, and now you're affected.
Right. I already care about somebody. I know Holly from the first film. She's
Yeah.
circling, even
Yep.
though Dick's with her.
That guy.
Dick is
It,
back. What are they doing out there? See, you're intrigued. That's what I do.
that's Alakazam.
I can't come within 50 feet of him. 50 yards. 50 yards. So if you leave me here, why can't I get the first class meal? I paid for it.
I paid for it. My network paid for it.
Yes.
Yes.
Once Esperanza plane lands, McClane wounds Esperanza before Stewart and his men arrive. He opens up. Esperanza's like, ah!
This right here is that one scene, or it's coming, where you're just like, wow, because you got Bruce Willis in the cockpit. He's locked in the cockpit of this plane. They're opening up on it, like fully opening up. Everybody's got automatics just letting loose on it. Nobody hits Bruce. So clearly we know their marksmanship is trash. But because Bruce Willis has like 1,000 experience points, he knows once I see this bomb, boom, I got to hit the eject. And he gets out, and they're not shooting at him at all. He is falling slow as hell. They're standing there. They hear the sirens. So they're like, we got to go. They could be shooting as they're running away.
And this is what I get. All right. Oh, we've got him trapped. Everybody throw your grenades in there. How many grenades we got? 4. Find 26 more. Okay. Because if I'm McClane, all right, I got 1,000 experience points. If I see one come in or 100 come in, I'm doing the same thing.
The same thing. Yep. Joey, that's the difference between you and John McClane. Your experience points are a little bit lower. But like you, I would have to agree. If John McClane hadn't pissed himself in some of the environments that he's been in, then he really is superhuman. Like
darks. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Like that. That's it. Don't you wear those white chinos.
They blow up the plane and take Esperanza to the church, but fail to kill McClane. A U.S. Special Forces team arrives, led by Major Grant, of whom Stewart is a protege. Now, they had already arrived at this point. The thing is not entirely accurate here, but I didn't write it. I'm just reading it. They had already arrived. They're already on the scene with my man who was the last minute replacement. And apparently all he does is Major Grant knows what he's doing. I trust him with my lives. They can't get Jimmy over in the corner to do that. Listen, Jimmy, you're just going to have to just pretend. Don't even hook it up. Just pretend like you're looking at it.
Right.
When you do this, say, I trust Major Grant with my life. That's not even hooked up to anything. That's just dangling it. Nope. Just don't let him see the cord.
That's it.
Grant's men and McClane attack the church. Now, at this point, I know everything it's doing. I'm like, McClane, have we shown you to the captain's lounge? How about you do all that? You need to stay here. Be near Holly's plane. No, we got this.
Right.
McClane,
because that's what would happen in real time.
Yes.
The U.S. Army is not letting anybody interfere. I don't care how involved you are on the scene. Oh, we here now? You got to go home. Like, really, they're not going to let anybody tag along. I don't care how many experience points you got, buddy.
At that point, you're like Joe Bluth. Her name is US Army.
U.S. Army.
McClane kills one of Stewart's men and gives chase with his gun, but the mercenaries escape on snowmobiles. You know that there was somebody like rich people. They got the big house and it's backed up to the woods. what is happening out there? They got all the family over there. You know, this is the time that they open up the
Because
house.
it's Christmas time.
They're roasting chestnuts in the big thing. You know, what is happening out there? It's Christmas. We've had
Little
planes circling overhead for the last hour. They got
right.
snowmobiles.
Little Timmy just spilt the gravy, so everybody's pissed, right? Because again, that stuffing gets bone dry, right?
The dog has come in, has grabbed a roll.
Right, like everybody's just up in arms, but then they go outside because you had to have one go outside to get away from all the madness, like because he was really looking forward to that dressing. He goes outside and he looks, sees all the the airplanes flying around, sees a team of snowmobiles going in the opposite direction. I think something's going on.
McClane follows, but his vehicle is destroyed by gunfire. Homeboy was outside smoking a cigarette, and all of this is going on. He comes back in, the cigarette is hanging from his lips, and his wife is yelling at him, I told you no smoking in this house. And then he just goes off, and he just says everything that's happening outside, and you're getting on me for some Benson and Hedges.
That's it.
Confused as to why he failed to wound anyone, McClane realizes the gun was filled with blanks, meaning the earlier firefight was staged and Grant's team are secretly cooperating with Stewart. All right. Now, this is the point. I understand you're trying to make a point. All right. You can't go, hey, look, this is covered with blanks. Take a look for it yourself, Lorenzo. No, you open fire with the blanks.
Everybody,
I'm not going to be the only one soling myself on this Christmas Eve.
Lorenzo too needs to change his draws.
Grant, Stewart, their men, and Esperanza all rendezvous at an airport hangar where a Boeing 747 that they demanded is waiting for them. On Holly's flight, arrogant reporter Richard Thornburg becomes suspicious as to why the plane has not landed. He taps into the cockpit communications and records an earlier surreptitious transmission from Barnes to all circling airplanes describing the situation. From the airplane's lavatory, Richard broadcasts the recording live on television, leading to a panic in the airport terminal, which prevents McClane and Lorenzo from getting to the 747. Holly subdues Thornburg with a fellow passenger's stun gun.
Because it's like Junior's gonna Junior. Dick Thornburg is gonna Dick Thornburg, bro. Like he's going to be who he is. If there's a way for him to get himself in, and listen, I totally understand it. That quest for validation and success has made him feel like he's got to be the first person to jump on the scene. I get it.
Right.
But it just so happens, coincidentally, every time he gets involved, he makes it worse for our main character.
McClane asks a news crew to fly him via helicopter to intercept the 747. McClane jumps onto the wing and uses his coat to jam the aileron, preventing the plane from taking off. During a fistfight, Grant is killed when McClane kicks him into a jet engine.
Damn, damn, damn!
And she throws it down. And she's like, all right, McClane, you're contractually obligated to walk across that in your bare feet.
That's it.
While fighting Stewart, McClane opens a fuel valve in the engine pylon just as Stewart kicks him off the wing. McClane uses a cigarette lighter to ignite the fuel trail, exploding the plane and killing everyone on board. The fire trail also serves as a landing guide for all airborne aircraft, including Holly's, to land safely. If they can do it, we can.
Right. Like, now, mind you, we got the tagline. This is where we get the yippee-ki-yay. So if you've been waiting on it, there you go.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
Yippee-ki-yay, Uncle Bugger.
After McClane and Holly are reunited, Marvin picks them up in his airport cart and drives them away, saying,
I dropped the ball on that one. I
I
just had
think
a brain fart.
I'll be damned if I'm cleaning this up.
Listen, Marvin, I just love how John McClane always has somebody, just a working class stiff that gets to step up and be a hero. First, it was our guy Argyle. Now he's making Marvin the superstar. Shouts out to McClane for thinking about the little man.
The screenplay was adapted from Walter Wager's 1987 novel, 58 Minutes. The novel has the same plot but differs slightly. A police officer must stop terrorists who take an airport hostage while his daughter plane circles overhead and has 58 minutes to do so before the plane crashes. Roderick Thorpe, who wrote the 1979 novel Nothing Lasts Forever, upon which Die Hard was based, receives credit for creating certain original characters, although his name is misspelled on screen as Roderick Thorpe with an E. I was going to say this. I was going to slip it in to see if you noticed, but I'm just going to tell you now. I was going to say Fox was contractually obligated to offer the film to Frank Sinatra first, but he was 72 at the time and turned it down.
Because he's like, I was too old for the last one.
I'm even
Okay.
older now.
I'm even older now. No, this isn't going to happen.
But I felt by the time I got to 2008, he's like, but he had been dead for 10 years. Didn't respond. Scenes of Dulles Airport in the snow were to be filmed in Denver, but filming was scrapped due to warm weather. It wasn't snowing.
It wasn't snowy enough. That's awesome.
Some outdoor scenes were filmed in Alpena, Michigan, while others needed to accommodate the landing of the 747 with snow were filmed at former Kitchelow Air Force Base in Kitchelow, Michigan. Other scenes were filmed on a soundstage in Los Angeles using fake snow. Die Hard 2 was the first film to use digitally composite live-action footage with a traditional matte painting that had been photographed and scanned into a computer. It was used for the last scene, which took place on a runway. According to Franco Nero, Silver got the idea to cast him after he saw movie posters of Nero hanging in the office of their mutual accountant. Nero did not want to do Die Hard 2 because he did not like the script and he had committed to do the film Breath of Life. Finally, Silver scheduled Nero's scenes in such a way that the actor could do both films. Nero was Esperanza.
Maximize the bag.
Right.
I mean, if you can do one movie, that's great. But I mean, if you can do two movies and get paid, like that's great.
Make sure you get paid for both of them, though.
That's what I'm saying. Maximize the bag, man. Definitely.
All right, let's talk about casting. You've got Bruce Willis, Bonnie Bedelia, William Atherton, and Reginald VelJohnson all returning from the first film. So you got a good mix of people there. They're joined by Dennis Franz, later of NYPD Blue fame.
Yeah.
Fred Thompson, actor and later U.S. Senator and presidential candidate. John Amos from Good Times and West Wing and many other films and television shows. Robert Patrick, we talked about before, T2 and other things. Johnny Cakes.
Johnny Cakes. Good old Johnny.
Mark Boone is also in this. He's played a ton of different characters. Shoot, my phone is on the other side of the room, but if you look up Mark Boone Jr., he is on Last Man on Earth. He plays a big character on that. He is on, shoot, I'm blanking on it. I'll see it later and scream it to the ether.
It's not Community, is it? He wasn't in Community, was he?
I don't think so. No. Anyway, a lot of people, and you're like, is that who I think that is?
And look, as we're doing these movies, I mean, I think it's gonna happen. You know, when you're looking at movies from the '80s, you realize a lot of stars now got their start with bit roles. I mean,
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you
Hold on.
know, go ahead.
Yeah, you just saw my underarm, everyone. I've got my.
No,
I
we did.
realized I got my iPad here, and I can look up him on that.
But like, I mean, so some examples talking about the late '70s, early '80s, and big time actors that got their start. Y'all know Lawrence Fishburne was Cowboy Roy. George Clooney was on ER. So I mean, it's like you're gonna. That's what we're getting right now. We're getting a lot of people, and I told you we had Vigo from Ghostbusters 2 in the last one. You know, we had the Half Blood Prince Hans was in the first Die Hard. So yeah, we got it.
Uh, he was in Memento, Paradise City. He's Razor Mark in The Mandalorian. Um, he's in Patriot, Flack, Last Man on Earth. He was on Elementary, American Romance, Casual Encounters, Sons of Anarchy. He was Bobby Elvis Munson. Robert
Oh,
Bobby Elvis Munson and Sons of
oh,
Anarchy. He
Bobby
apparently
Ellis.
was a good, a big character on that because he was on 92 episodes.
Big time facts, bro. So now that I realize who you said, when you said Bobby Elvis, I know exactly who you're talking about. And nice teaser because Sons is a show that we might want to look at.
Yeah. So just to bring up other people who were on there, Franco Nero, William Sadler, who played Colonel Stewart. He's in
Yeah.
everything. He's in
He's
Shawshank and all of that.
a very talented actor, and he's one of those guys that he's a lot more talented than the prestige he may have gotten because when you watch him, because he's been in so much stuff, you aren't you don't feel like you're watching the same guy playing the same role. You know, he is whoever he's supposed to be, and you never confuse him for any other role that he's been in, but yet you've seen him in everything.
John Leguizamo is in it.
Nice, nice.
Um, Vonde Curtis Hall, who played Miller. A lot of people, you're like, I know them. What do I know them from? And you run to IMDb
Yep.
for that. All right. But there is a segment of the Die Hard movies that we're actually leaving behind after this installment. TJ, is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie?
No.
No. Why?
Why is it not?
Why is it not?
Oh man, that's a great question. I mean, essentially, the elements, I guess, technically should be the same. There's a quest. She's trying to get home for Christmas with the family. There is some Christmas music there. Um, do we have people dressed up? I'm trying to
You
read.
have people dressed up festively. You see like sweaters and all of that. You see decorations and all of that. Nobody's dressed as Santa.
Right. So, I mean, while you don't get a Santa or an elf or any, overt Christmas decor, if we're going by the logic that we used in the last week's episode, then for all intents and purposes, yeah, it should be. I just, I don't know. It's just different. It's weird, bro, because it's like, again, yeah, I now I feel like I'm being a sort of a hypocrite. So because she's coming home for Christmas and he's just trying to get her home for Christmas, and they have the redemption. Where's the Linus moment in this one? Because they've reconciled. Like I said, I gave him the Linus moment with the reconciliation in the first one with the "tell her I'm sorry" speech. Do we get that in this one? Because I mean, they were together.
I thought that the moment was when he um punches Esperanza, and he's like, "Now that I've got you, I'm gonna trade it in for her." That's his moment where like, and also where she goes, "Why does this keep happening to us?"
And that, yeah, that was a quite clever line right there. And I always find it funny when, because I've never been in an extremely, I can't say that. I've never been in a Bruce Willis type situation where I've got blood pouring down my face and I've been, out here doing all this stuff. But people smile a lot in those moments. Like she says, "Why does this keep happening to us?" And they show her in the hug and she's cheesing and shit. And I'm just like, I don't know that I would be smiling right there. Like, I don't know.
There is I actually do know this. There is a reason behind that. I was in a training for something one day, and somebody's like, when something like that happens to you, I'm in a high pressure situation, I tend to smile, and even when it's not a situation to smile on. And the woman who was there, who was leading it, said that's actually a as part of like a fight or flight response. Is that you kind of like revert back, and it's almost like you're showing your fangs
Really?
and all of that. Yes, it's as part of like a flight or fight type of thing, and that is your fight response.
So that one time I was almost in an accident and I had an erection for like 25 minutes. What
Yeah,
does that mean?
I can tell you what that means. That is a like your body is dumping like adrenaline and all of that. And it was like the original, I think it was also called Crash, the original Crash, not the movie that
Won all those
everybody.
awards.
Right,
Yeah.
right. The other one, it's where people get sexually aroused by being in accidents.
Auto. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got
Um,
you.
yeah.
You just taught me something, Joey.
That's what I'm here for.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you. We have our mutual appreciation society
All
here.
day. And we got to include the fans in that. They appreciate us too.
And
Otherwise,
I
they wouldn't be
and
here.
I appreciate them.
Equal appreciation there. It's an
So,
appreciation circle.
yeah. So overall thoughts about Die Hard 2, Dying Harder.
So for a while, this was my number two favorite Die Hard
Okay.
because Die Hard 1 is a classic for me and it's always going to be number one. And for the longest time, and I mean, I guess it's because I had only seen two, I'm like, yeah, so I guess Die Hard 2 is going to be my second favorite Die Hard. It has since been replaced, but I thought it was a great follow up to the first one. You're not going to be in Nakatomi Plaza anymore. You're expanding, you're branching out, but they still made great use of the space. Because I mean, there's a lot parts of airports that you never see, so
Right.
you don't know what any of it's like. So to be able to say that's not how that would go, you can't do that because you yourself have never been there. So they made great use of the space in airports again, wide fields with a whole bunch of tunnels you know nothing about. So for that part, huge fan of it, man. And then Bruce Willis again, just being his funny self. They brought Bonnie in there and let her be, have some comic relief with the stewardesses on the airplane and old Dick Thornburg. So I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, really, after the stage being set by Die Hard 1, it was possible to drop the ball with Die Harder. They just didn't.
See, this has been the first one has gone up more in my eyes. This has for a long time been my favorite one. I've seen it more than the original. The original one has is probably now number two
Mhm.
in my estimation. I've got to reorder them as I watch them because it's been a while since I had seen any of the ones other than one and two lately. So after this, I'll have to reconfigure from this, but I enjoy this. Like it's a good popcorn movie. Like you can
Yeah.
just put it on and turn your brain off and just enjoy what's happening because they all realize we are not making Shakespeare here. We're making an action flick.
I'm going to encourage the fans to tune in to all of our Die Hard recoup because once we get to that last Die Hard, I'm going to rank them. I'm going to rank them all.
Okay, I feel you.
Because I feel like this rewatch is going to help. Because again, I'll go ahead and give you a little tease. Living Free and Dying Hard, weirdly enough, it took number two's place as my number two Die Hard.
Okay,
And it's the fourth one.
right.
So we'll see if it holds up when I watch it again.
Okay. With a Vengeance is the one that I think I have the most fun with. I think it's just
Oh yeah, gotta love Zeus. Gotta love Zeus, man. You put Bruce Willis opposite, and this I guess is just getting everybody excited for what's coming next. You put Bruce Willis opposite another strong actor.
right.
And at this time Samuel L. is still kind of making a name for himself, but he had the chops then. We were seeing the makings of a young Nick Fury. Don't call him Nicholas. Don't call him Nick. Just call him Fury. So, yeah.
And I have a fantastic story about him and how he was cast on this. It's talking about how an agent screwed an actor out of a part twice, and both times replaced by Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh,
That's
snap.
a teaser. That's what they call a teaser, folks.
Oh, that's a teaser. That is an official teaser right there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, you've just been teased.
All right. But TJ, before I let you go, my friend, go ahead and plug any and everything that you've got.
Gonna keep it short and sweet. You want to hear more from me? Go to your local TV providers and let them know that you want to subscribe to Nakatomi Saga.
Marvin's still not cleaning any of this up.
He ain't cleaning none of it up. Thanks for having me, brother, man. Look, as always, bro, it's always a good time. I just got to steal somebody watched Summer Camp and took a picture of me on screen and sent it to me. Like, I think I know this guy. And I was like, I don't know if you do. That's all I can tell. Like, I don't know if you do. He's being indicted on insurance fraud. I was talking about the character, not the guy playing him. So yeah, man, good times all around.
Is that why he was there?
That's why he was there. He was hiding out. It was a Sister Act 2 situation. He was going to the reunion to get away from the mob.
The last frame that you were in, I told my wife when we saw it, I said, that's TJ's I like rich people pose.
Because it really is.
And she's like, you're right. She's like, because that's the sound of music. I like rich people.
I like rich people. I mean, 1,000%. But no, bro, if you know my behind the scenes story with being on the set of Summer Camp, you saw me like this because everybody is asking me for a hug now at this point. So I'm just literally just coming in for hug action from everybody. But no, that is my I like rich people because I do very much like rich people. I like the way they live.
Oh, I just had it. When I logged on to finish that. Oh, wait. Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Of course, when I want to find it. Oh, there we go. See that right in the middle, folks? That's called Summer Camp.
Yes.
You can rent or buy it now on Fandango at home.
Boom.
I knew I had seen it.
Fandango at home, Google Store, Amazon, all of it's there, and you get to see me love rich people.
That's why he's hiding out. Like he said, it's a Sister Act 2 situation.
The Sister Act 2 situation, man. That's why you don't see me anymore in the movie, because they realized I was too visible. Too visible.
At the Joey Harris on all social media. If it's social media, I've got it. Joey Harris Comedy at gmail.com. And it comes time. See, TJ is going to do the visuals while I tell you what to do. All right. This is
Okay.
what we're watching. It is its own channel. So when you get this and you see this, what you need to do is go and subscribe to it. He is pointing out where you go to subscribe down there. You subscribe, you'll make sure you will get notified if you click the bell every single time we release an episode. You will get notified. And that's how it comes up. It's actually TJ will show up on your device, whatever it is, and he will do this. If I'm wrong, it will cost you exactly the amount that you paid for this episode on there. 100%
win-win.
money back guarantee. But until next time, when we die hard with a vengeance, it'll be with a vengeance.
I like B words.
Vengeance. You can bite into it. Vengeance.
With a vengeance.
All right. But TJ, as always, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we will talk to you all next time.